Congressman Schock, the larger question of Republican dissent, if you look at it that way, or attacks on this administration. The top terrorism advisor to the president said this on this program this last week.
I'm tiring of politicians using national security issues such as terrorism as a political football.
Are Republicans and Republican attacks against this administration helping al-Qaeda?
Absolutely not, and I think it's an insult to most Americans to suggest that their elected representatives who are carrying their views and the message of the majority of Americans to Washington and to this debate are somehow helping al-Qaeda. Mind you, many of these Democrats, including Mr. Brennan, who served in the last administration, faced many of these same attacks under then President Bush from the left. So the idea that we can't challenge the administration in their view on the fight on terrorism is completely
What happened
bogus.
to Democrats when they challenged President Bush in the same way?
Some of the same claims were made against them. But at the end of the day, we're representing mainstream America and the majority of views. And whether it's closing Guantanamo Bay and moving it to the heartland of America, whether it's trying these folks in downtown New York, whether it's Mirandizing terrorists who come to this country to attack us, the majority of Americans have not do not believe that Obama and his administration is right on these policies.
So you don't support the way the president is prosecuting the war on terror?
No.
I can appreciate the politics that are played here, and we're heading into a cycle, and we just met. I think he's a nice guy and a good guy, but to suggest that this administration is not focused in a right way and determined to keep America safe, I think it's just not right and foolish. I think there's a legitimate conversation about whether Khalid Sheikh Mohammed should be tried in my home city. I disagree with the administration. I'm glad now we are revisiting and looking at a different location. I was against it because I think the costs are too high. We're in the middle of a recession. It costs them $225 million a year to try him there. We could spend that money in a jobs program, an education program, or even to pay down the debt. But to suggest to play politics at this moment, the Democrats raised the same concerns when Bush was in office, and the same answers were given, and some similar answers were given by Republicans. The truth of the matter is Congress and the Senate ought to be focused on our efforts in Afghanistan, Iraq, and ensuring that our ACPAC policy works. The conversation around Pakistan and Kashmir and whether or not a resolution there will help us resolve our issues in Afghanistan are far more important than a volleyball going back and forth about who's at fault. Barack Obama and his administration deserve tremendous credit for what they've done up to this moment.
All right, quick comment, then I want to move to domestic matters.
First of all, I want to make it clear, nobody's suggesting that President Obama or his administration don't want us to be safe. What we're suggesting is he's taking unnecessary risks.
Well, can I just, I'm sorry though, what's the basis of the assertion that reading somebody their Miranda rights is unsafe? We did that with every, wait, hold on, we did that with every single person who has been arrested on terrorism charges since 9/11. Nobody's ever made an issue of it until the Obama administration and this case with Abdul Muttalib. Literally, what's the problem with being read your rights? That wasn't the problem before.
Well, first of all, you suggested earlier that reading someone's Miranda rights does not, has never indicated that they talk less to our intelligence
We've never
folks.
heard that from the FBI.
The fact of the matter is we do know that after the Christmas Day bomber was read his Miranda rights, that he did in fact stop cooperating with our intelligence.
That's not true, actually. I mean, it's not what we know from the people who've been involved in it.
But there is,
the factual basis of these assertions is so thin.
But Rachel's right about that. In fact, I think when he was read the rights, the report suggested that he shared more information after. And that could be wrong, but the question.
But there is a debate. There is a debate about whether he should have been treated throughout as an intelligence asset without being Mirandized in order to bring people in who had more expertise specific to Yemen. Now, I don't think any of us can know at this stage how much could be gleaned from FBI interrogators who are very good versus other intelligence assets. So I think that will continue. Let me take a break here. We're going to come back and talk about domestic matters and the Obama agenda. We'll be back with our roundtable right after this brief station.